Hey, what's up? You full? Off all the turkey and ham that you eat for your American Thanksgiving? All right. Whatever. On our plate for this week, food related. Shuhei Yoshida is leaving SIE. Wait, was that December 3rd tease in the latest PlayStation ad real? And we picked the winners and losers of Geoff Keighley's 2024 Game Awards. All this and more on Season 8, Episode 48 of Press X and Start Gamers Digest. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka what they talking about? They talking about nothing. What they talking about? We talking about nothing. What they talking about? We talking about nothing. I am joined by
Hey. That's my bitch. I'm Sean M.F. Ross.
What the M&F stand for?
Mustard? No, I don't know.
Right? You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
Crack-a-late and do the math.
Oh man, now you know who we are and who we just listen to. If you know, you know. I mean, at this point, everybody knows, right? This is Press Excerpt Gamers Digest, a video podcast that condenses the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. Even though you're full, we got more stuff for you. We are live on YouTube every Sunday when we can make it because life is hard.
But listening to us and Kendrick Lamar is easy.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And boy, I listened to GNX too many times at this point.
So, they say that, Kendrick don't got no club hits, but they were sure enough playing a bunch of his shit in the club the other day.
Oh, really?
Including all the songs off of GNX.
Right? Gotta love it, man. People just hate to hate, man. It's just, it gets clicks. It's engagement. Don't forget, speaking of engagement, you can support us by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and hitting the notification bell. If you are listening, we greatly appreciate you leaving us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever podcast service you're currently tuned in on. And if you want, you can join our Discord by going to pressx2start.com/Discord. That little URL will take you where you need to be so you can talk to us in URL, whatever. Scratching my head because I have no idea how to segue out of this. So I'm just going to hit a quick backflip. All right, gaming news. Number one, Shuhei Yoshida to leave Sony Interactive Entertainment on January 15th, 2025. He's getting out right before all hell breaks loose in America. This comes to us from Gematsu. By way of, wait, I know this. I know. Why do I got to add for furniture? I don't want any of that. Sal Romano.
Sit your ass down. something.
Google's like, hey, I got you. Yeah. So this is sad news. If you know who Shuhei Yoshida is, he is essentially a PlayStation legend. I knew him, or I guess I learned about him through my time watching IGN's.
I was about to say, wow, you knew him?
All right. I mean, that'd be cool if I did know him. But yeah, I guess discovered him through Podcast Beyond on IGN, where like Greg Miller had a relationship with him and like brought him onto the podcast. He's done a few podcasts before, and he's just a really personable person.
Yeah.
He joined Sony back in 1993, so he's been there for 30 years, and it's like he has done so many things. His latest position was head of like the interactive, the indie section of PlayStation. So he was doing a lot to help indies get onto the PSN network and basically just like promoting them. And he was basically just flying around the world finding these like really cool like indie games to like prop up and get into the PlayStation ecosystem. I'm just going to read from the article a little bit. Quote, I am leaving Sony Interactive Entertainment on January 15th, 2025, Yoshida said in an official PlayStation podcast interview. It's like announcing the launch date of a new game, something I haven't done for a long time, he laughs. He continued, I've been with PlayStation from the beginning, and this is my 31st year with PlayStation. And when I hit 30 years, I was thinking, it may be time for me to move on. The company's been doing great. I love PlayStation 5. I love the games that are coming out on this platform. And we have new generations of management who I respect and admire.
Good.
And I am and I'm so excited for the future of PlayStation. So, PlayStation is in really good hands. I thought, okay, this is my time. So that's a quote directly from Yoshida. It is, I think at this point, he was probably one of the last like OG PlayStation people there.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like a new generation of people now. But again, it is that thing of like his position was, I try to find the name of his actual position, but like his position was so high that like, you know, there was a bunch of people, the people right now who
Um,
are still working there who are doing the
he was
work.
a president of worldwide.
Studios.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yoshida eventually became president of Sony Computer Entertainment Worldwide Studios, today known as PlayStation Studios, before stepping down to lead Sony Interactive Entertainment Indie Games Initiative. Yeah.
in 2019.
Yes. So yeah, like he's been all through PlayStation. It's the same thing like Jim Ryan has been all through PlayStation. Jim Ryan just left at the CEO position. That's a little. I see some people kind of making the same kind of comparisons between Shuhei and Jim Ryan in terms of like, oh, there must be trouble in PlayStation. It's like, no, it's different in that like Jim Ryan was actually heading the ship, and we knew the choices that he was making that a lot of people didn't agree with,
Yeah,
i.e., the whole like games of service initiative that he was pushing, where Shuhei was really just looking for indie games that could bloom and like foster on the PlayStation ecosystem. That was his
yeah,
main thing. So yeah, this is just a thing of just like, man, it sucks to see him go, but either he retires or he continues doing the work of supporting indies, like whatever he does, I'm definitely gonna be following up on it and seeing whatever he does, because he's a cool guy. But yeah, props to Shuhei. Hopefully he can take a nice little break before he gets back to working again. All right. Number 2. Is PlayStation planning something on December 3rd?
yes.
This comes right. We'll see because it's going to be very soon. It's this week. This comes to us from Bilbo Coon's Twitter page. So if you don't know who Bilbo Coon is, they are a pretty prominent leaker. It's one of those things where you kind of have to trust their reputation to know, like, okay, well, if this information is actually creditable, or if it's just like someone trying to get their name out there by just putting whatever information out there. But this is their tweet. A PlayStation event is really happening soon? Question mark. I don't have the answer, but many PlayStation stuff are being prepared behind the scenes. Some fresh news are coming. Stay tuned. So the person who I guess the comment who follows immediately is from Pio,
Yeah.
which I believe is another like leaker, and they said for me, I'm getting excited. So
They also posted that picture of like it looks like a train schedule background where it has 312
yes,
2024 and the PlayStation, triangle, circle, cross, square
yes,
or
yes,
box,
yes.
whatever you like to call it in the background. But 312 of course in uh
Europe.
I was gonna call it something else for sure. Over there that's December 3rd. So we'll see something happen Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah. So, it's either going to be big news or small news. We don't know yet, but we will be here waiting for whatever news they drop, if there's any news that they drop. But I'm just letting you guys know, letting you people know out there that something could be happening on Tuesday. So we'll see. More good news. Number 3, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is by far the biggest and longest game that MachineGames have ever done, with nearly 4 hours of cutscenes. This comes to us from GamesRadar by way of Dustin Bailey. That's
Hmm.
like 2 free Indiana Jones movies with your Indiana Jones game. That's a lot of cutscenes. Like that's
Let me try to
actually
think. Yeah. So Metal Gear Solid has 71 minutes worth of cutscenes. But oh, that's just the epilogue. Okay. I thought that was the entire game. It's been so long, I forgot. An hour?
I was like, I
Wow.
thought it was more than that.
Okay.
Oh wait, that's just the end. That's a whole movie.
You know what? I think I'll be used to it because Yakuza has a lot of cutscenes, so
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
it'll phase me necessarily. We'll
yeah.
see.
Although
Yeah,
I
like
do,
it says Yakuza 0 has 42-minute epilogue to wrap up the story.
yeah.
14 hours of actually, this ain't nothing. 4 hours? It says Yakuza 0 has 14 hours of cutscene. This isn't a lot. They need to bump these numbers up. None of them. Sure, man.
He went from excited to I can't believe this. This is nothing. And he doubled the hour.
Red Dead Redemption has 19 hours of cutscene. Man, get these little baby numbers up out of here. Okay, I thought we were in for some until I actually quantified it with something else. All right, whatever, man. Sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, I still think this is actually cool to like for them to put a number on it and be like, oh yeah, like this is a lot of cutscenes. Like this is going to be a story heavy game for those people
Yeah.
who, are kind of just up in the air and like, oh, what are we gonna get from this game? Like this is MachineGames. They do Wolfenstein, and Wolfenstein's a great game that has like really cool storytelling in it. So, that part is less of an issue.
When does it come out again? Indiana Jones.
December, I think in like 2 weeks.
December
Is it 2
9th.
weeks?
So next
Okay,
week
yeah.
almost. I got excited for a second because since I just bought a new computer, it came with a free Game
Game
Pass
Pass.
trial.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I think yeah, man.
There you go. There you go. You have a way of playing it. So yeah, there's not really too much to be said other than the fact that they're going to have a lot of cutscenes in this game. But
Yeah.
I think that's exciting. I think that's good news, and like Xbox needs good news. Like that's the best way I can say it. So that's awesome. Before we talk about pretty bad news from Ubisoft. Hey, you listener, viewer, person, you doing good? Good. Do us good by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hit the notification bell. If you are listening and not watching us, can you please just check the YouTube video? Just give us a little watch. We appreciate that. But then go back to your phone and to the podcast service you are currently using and leave us a review on whatever podcast service you're using, as I said. Once you do that, we appreciate it. And get back into the show. Thank you. Number 4. Ubisoft reportedly wants Steam to hide concurrent player count data. All right. That's one way of making your games look better than what they are, I guess. This comes to us from Brett Bile? Sure. Okay. A Ubisoft insider has shared that people at the company have reached out to Valve asking to limit the visibility of player count data. Concurrent player count has become a valuable source of information in the gaming industry, especially when so many video games include online community aspects enhanced by their popularity. Despite how important these numbers can be to the players, this plan could help Ubisoft in the long term. Many gaming companies have become more protective of the data surrounding their latest releases, although tracking stock prices can give people an idea of how a business is doing overall. The ability to see player data and sales numbers varies depending on the company and the title. Square Enix has struggled recently, and the company has chosen to leave sales updates on titles like Final Fantasy XVI more unclear. Ubisoft has taken a couple of hits throughout 2024, and its executives may want more control over some of these statistics.
I say
So
that's a good thing.
good to hide these numbers.
Yeah, because they're not as important as people think. If this was
That's a good point, actually.
If this was so important, we wouldn't be this far into the Yakuza series. Like a Dragon, like number 7, that was, and I think Infinite Wealth was like the highest initial player base. Normally,
Hmm.
these were games that released and then over time picked up steam by word of mouth. It's a terrible precedent to try to base your game off the initial player numbers for the first week or something. This isn't. They shouldn't even do that for music. Like it's really stupid. Maybe you're in the middle of playing something else. We have a lot of good games coming out this year, and not a lot of time to play them. Otherwise, people will be playing Infinite Wealth. You know what I mean? If
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
if we were waiting on DJ to play Infinite Wealth, I'd have never got Pirates of Yakuza. I mean, like, it's a dumb, it's a stupid metric. I mean, I would do cumulative overall, but not like the first 30 days numbers and stuff. I really hate that that's how they're measuring success when
Yeah.
they're still releasing games like Metaphor Refantasio that have 100 hours worth of gameplay, and that
Yeah. I mean, I totally like I'm kind of on both sides of the fence in
hmm
that, but I'm more on your side of the fence than the other side of the fence in terms
yeah,
of like how important are these numbers? Like when it comes to the people who are actually being able to look at these numbers, and it's just like it's really
Cum-
not that important to us. It
cumulative
is
cumulative quarterly or every 6 months or something like that, I would say is more important. Did they pick up the game and they're just planning to play it? I know a lot of people pick up games and it's just sitting in their backlog. Look how many people buy
yeah,
Steam games when they're on sale and then they just sit there. Like you can't really look at the
yeah,
player numbers. The same way I don't think you can look at the stocks either. We all know that crap is made
yeah.
up now. Somebody can make one tweet with a blue check mark on Twitter, and it'll
Change
tank
the
a
whole. Yeah,
yeah. That's not a good
yeah,
indicator of how well something is doing anymore. I don't
yeah.
think it had any
I totally get
bearing
you.
even before that. People were manipulating the market for a while now, and we're just getting hip to that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's sort of kind of where I'm at, where I feel like the Steam numbers are often used to dunk on games when they're not doing well. Like there
yeah,
was an article posted about Lego Horizons and the Steam count was lower than Concord numbers. And it's just like, okay, but it's like a couch co-op game and it's released on PlayStation and the Switch. So I would not look at that game and think, "Oh, that's a Steam game. Let me download that for Steam." Like that's not, at least in my mindset, why like that'd be the first thing I would jump to. So to me, it's just like those numbers are only really showing one third of the pie, where we should really wait for the Circana report to see like what the actual sales of that was from a more statistical standpoint. And that way you can be like, oh, okay, or Lego Horizon was like number 4 of the fourth best selling game in November or whatever. Like that's a better viewpoint or a better stance on how well the game's doing versus looking at the Steam count. And again, like we have to realize that the Steam numbers is only showing the Steam players. Like PlayStation and
yeah.
Xbox don't release their number count. So it's not too crazy for Ubisoft to,
Start
want
hiding their numbers too.
want their numbers hidden because it's just like, well, these our games are also on the other platforms that keep their data hidden. So just having these numbers shown does not really make the game look like it's doing as well as it possibly could be. Although this is Ubisoft, and as this article suggested, they're not doing great this year. Like they've not had any real
They have
success
all
with
the
their games
data
this
though,
year.
because most
They do.
Ubisoft games has that Ubisoft Connect crap built into it. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, even without Connect, like their code is set to like give them the information of like who's
yeah,
accessing their games or whatever. But again, I go back to these numbers are used to dunk on games.
yeah.
And like that's what's happening. And they're trying to fight that because Ubisoft is not doing well. And I feel like they're probably trying to shield themselves from a potential buyout from someone.
They're just waiting for
And
Marcus to play Black Flag. That'll turn their ship around. Don't you want to save millions of jobs, thousands of jobs? Marcus, go ahead and play
Just do it, Marcus. You're not doing anything else. Come on, guys.
Black Flag or play the remake when they bring it out.
That's all you got to do. Come on, Marcus. Come on. Do it, Marcus. All right. So yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't think Valve will listen at all, and they'll probably just keep moving and doing what they're doing because
Valve or
they're
Ubisoft?
Valve will not hide the numbers. I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 5, Microsoft is reinstating the $1 Game Pass trial. Interesting, but only for PC.
Right after. Okay.
Interesting. Yep. Right after a game that did pretty well for them. This comes to us from Eurogamer.net by way of Matt Wales. 6 weeks after Microsoft yanked its $1 Game Pass trial in the run-up to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 release, the deal has now been reinstated as part of the company's Black Friday and Cyber Monday promotions, but only for PC. As was the case prior to the offer's removal, that $1 provides 14 days to explore PC Game Pass catalog. Sadly, Microsoft isn't reverting to the month-long variant last seen in August 2023. Month-long variant. Oh, okay. So it's 14 days versus 4 weeks. I see. After that, trial members will automatically sign up to the recurring monthly subscription unless they disable auto-renewal ahead of time. Microsoft's next big first-party release, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, arrives on the 9th of November, European, instead of December 9th, meaning it will be available to play as part of PC Game Pass' newly revived trial. Console players, however, will need to pay full whack for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Full whack? What? Am I old? Full whack? What is full whack?
It's a European outlet, so that might be a European thing.
Full whack. I'm gonna start using that. Need to pay full whack for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. I'm gonna go to Chick-fil-A and be like, I gotta pay full whack for a number one. I don't know how to. Anyways, if they want to play via subscription on launch day, that's what happens when you read. You just figure stuff out and just like, oh, that's weird. Yes, that's what happens when you read. Yes, I do that sometimes. Okay, the PC Game Pass trial. Okay, I'm gonna stop reading this. This doesn't matter. The point is, they are using this as a tool to get people in, and I think it's weird that they took it off before Call of Duty Black Ops 6, a game that they were confident that was going to draw a bunch of people on the Game Pass, and then
that's why they removed it though. You don't want to give away your game that hundreds of thousands of people are gonna play for $1 versus multiply hundreds of thousands times $15. You do the math.
Yeah, right. But like, what I find interesting is that, like, okay, well, I imagine they're not as confident with the Great Circle as they were with Call of Duty because it's Call of Duty, of course. But like, I just find it interesting. Like, the Indiana Jones is supposed to be like their big game for the year. Or I mean, mine is Call of Duty, but Call of Duty is like a separate thing. Like, it's like that's their big like story game of the year, for lack of a better word. So it's just like, it's interesting that they're throwing back the $1 pass to make that jump a lot easier for the people who are hopefully, I guess, who. I mean, you got a bunch of people that jumped on Game Pass after Call of Duty. Did they drop off already? And whatever, I don't know. Hard to tell, right? Because we can't see the numbers. SteamDB. Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah, this is just going to be a recurring thing that we see from Microsoft, where they just go back and forth with pulling this off versus putting it on and making it a thing. I mean, it's also possible that this could just be up for the Black Friday, Cyber Monday promotions, and like it will go away come like Tuesday or come like Wednesday or whatever.
Yeah.
But we don't know. We'll see. All right. Number 6. GameStop closes all branches in Germany. 500 employees affected. This comes to us from Gaming Deputy by way of Kreisitz Bates. That's a cool first name. There's no vowels in that first name. What? Holy crap. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's not really too much to be said here. This is kind of just quick hits that I threw up into the normal news, because we're going to talk about we're going to do our little predictions from the Game Awards. But yeah, I feel like this is just the start of what we're going to see probably worldwide with GameStop, where they're going to be closing down branches, because they've been failing. They've been failing for a long time, and this is just what happens when you fail. You start closing down branches. It does suck to see that that's going to be a lot of people affected by that, by just closing down 100 or 500 store. No, 500 employees affected. Did I say stores in the thing? I think I might have said stores. Okay, so 500 employees are affected. It's not 500 stores. But yeah, that's a lot of people that's going to be affected by this, and hopefully they're able to find another place to employ where they can also support gaming in a way. Yeah, it just sucks. But again, hopefully they saw this coming and they had some kind of backup plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, GameStop is going away slowly but surely.
Better go get some stock again.
I don't know if it's gonna work the second time, to be honest.
I am not a fiduciary. Don't listen to me.
Right? This is not real stock advice from Press X Star Gamers Digest. We are just saying words out of our mouth, and it's up to you if you want to spend that money. We won't. We won't be. We definitely won't be. Maybe. All right. Now. Actually, let's do the what we've been playing section real quick, and then we'll just end it with the Game Award stuff. You got anything that you've been playing?
Nah, just Balatro from time to time on mobile. Okay. Everyone should go play it.
I'm still in Metaphor, and there was a lot of talk about this character named Heisme, and people were just like, "Oh my god, Heisme is like the coolest character in the game," and everyone was like, "Oh, why wasn't this character put in runnings for the best performance for the Game Awards and stuff?"
Yeah.
And it seems like the performance is really based off of performance capturing and not just voice acting. So because Metaphor is a anime game, it's just voice acted and it's just animation. So I guess that's why it didn't count. But I'm like maybe 45 to 50 hours into Metaphor, and Heisme feels like the character feels so well performed that it's similar to the voice actor that played Astarion in Baldur's Gate 3, and how much and how much he got like blown up and just basically was everywhere after like winning the award or whatever. Unfortunately I don't think that's going to happen for this the Heisme voice actor, because just there's no award for that character for the performance category or whatever, so people are just going to miss it and not realize. But Metaphor Refantazio is nominated for other stuff, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm enjoying that game. My only issues with it, because it's not perfect, I think some of the combat situations are a little annoying. When the way that the combat system works, I think is really cool. I don't know if the other Persona games do it, because I've never played a Persona game before. When you're in the overworld, you're running around, you can hit people. If you are a higher level than them, you will kill that monster immediately. If you are the same level or the monster is above you, you will enter the turn-based mode. So if you do enough damage to them in the overworld to break their stun gauge, when you enter the turn-based mode, you will be able to take a free turn. Actually, you'll be able to take 2 turns. It's a free turn and then the actual turn, and then the monster will go. What happens is when you're in the overworld, some of the monsters will do a attack that can, I guess, give them armor against your like hitting them, and you have to dodge out the way. If you don't dodge out the way, they will hit you and they will start the match with a normal match where you don't get that free turn. Some of the monsters, their attack is a little weird where it's like it kind of feels like, oh, I kind of needed FromSoft capabilities to like dodge out the attack like in time, because it's like a delayed like attack kind of thing. So that it feels weird because it's just like you don't really see it coming. And then also the lock on in the overworld is really janky, where a monster can just attack you from behind because you're too busy focused on things in front of you and you can't spin the camera out fast enough and stuff. It's a lot to manage, and it's like I feel like that system could have been handled a lot better. So that's been my main issue. And like once you get attacked, it's like your 3 characters versus sometimes 5 other monsters, and they can, depending on what they do, they can just roll your characters, and it's just like, oh, okay, I gotta start this thing over again or whatever. And it's also hard to just quit out of a fight that's in progress. You have to let the fight play out completely, or just force quit out of the whole game and restart the game. That part sucks. And also escaping just, for me, doesn't work. I don't know why. It doesn't work. I'm not a Metaphor Pro. I'm not a Persona Pro, so I don't know. But yeah, that's my issues with Metaphor. But overall, I think it's a great game. There's a demo on PlayStation. It's like 17, 18 hours long. Try it out. If it interests you, get the game. That's what I did. Here I am. So yeah, that is it for what we've been playing. Now, let us do our predictions for Geoff Keighley's 2024 Game Awards. Go ahead and just switch this bad boy over. Wait a minute. Where was it? There it is. Boom. So, how this is going to work, we are going to really just talk about the category or the nomination, actually the categories that we feel we want to answer to. Like some of them we don't really have any, relationship with, like the racing, the best racing. We don't really play racing games like this, so we don't really care. Like or the sports one, we don't really care. And then also the esports stuff, we don't care. Fortunately, nobody cares. I'm sorry, esports people. I'm not trying to like jet on you or anything, but
nah, he wants to beef. Come run his virtual page.
It is that thing where it's just like it made sense at the beginning where it's just like, okay, Keighley just want to include everybody into the pie, but now it's like some random like I'm sorry, some random white kid wins this thing, and we're just like, all right, whatever. Where are they at next year? We don't know. No one knows because the main people don't really pay attention to it. So it's just like, let's get rid of the esports stuff so Keighley can give time to the bigger awards, so those people can actually take time to like give thanks to the like hundreds and hundreds of people that work on these video games. You don't need to know who the best esports person is. Sorry, just don't care. All right. All right. Now that that's out the way, let us talk about the first thing we're going to talk about, which is most anticipated game. So this is recognizing an announced game that has demonstratively illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. I'm not gonna read the description for all of them, just the ones that need the description. Yeah. It's all right. We have nominated
most of these.
Yeah, right. So we got Death Stranding 2 on the beach, Ghost of Yotei, Grand Theft Auto 6, Metroid Prime 4, I almost said 6, and then Monster Hunter Wilds. Who do you think is going to win this, John?
Grand Theft Auto, of course.
Yeah, it's Grand Theft Auto 6.
We have not been waiting for a decade for Death Stranding Ghost of Yotei.
It's
Metroid, people have been waiting for it, but it's not as widely loved as
yeah,
Grand Theft Auto
yeah,
6. When GTA 6, mark my words, when it comes out, it's gonna make the news. I don't know
absolutely,
why.
absolutely.
Well,
Like it's I feel bad for the other people running. I mean, I generally loved Monster Hunter Wilds playing it, but like it's no GTA 6. Like
mhm.
none of these games are GTA 6. Like it's GTA 6 hands down. I will be shocked if any other game wins this category. I'd be absolutely
Yeah,
shocked.
you'll know it was rigged. Somebody got taken advantage.
Exactly right. All right. The next category that we're going to talk about. No, we're not going to talk about best adaptation because we don't really care.
Mhm.
It's probably gonna be Fallout anyways, but yeah. Best multiplayer for outstanding. Oh no, we're not gonna talk about that. Okay, so we got Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Party Jamboree, sure, Tekken 8, and Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. What do you think is gonna win this?
I don't think any other game brought the communities together or brought like the gaming community together this year other than Helldivers 2. Like you actually had Xbox people pining over this.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
need this shit ported right now. I saw so many memes. I didn't see any memes for Tekken barely for Tekken 8 or like
There
Super Mario
there
Party.
wasn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't on the level like Helldivers 2. I
Yeah,
wasn't seeing people make reels and TikToks and all this other stuff for Hell other than for Helldivers, for freedom, for
yeah,
democracy, all that good stuff. So
yeah.
I'm gonna say that
Like
this
Hell
year. Yeah.
Yeah, Helldivers 2 genuinely had their Elden Ring moment this year where it was like I still get Helldivers like reels on my IG. Like it's still in the TikTok sphere. So like it's there. And like, Call of Duty, I think this year's Call of Duty was a really good Call of Duty for the people
Mhm.
who love Black Ops.
But
I'm
it's
gonna go ahead
Call of
and
Duty.
say yeah, it's Call of Duty. And
They
me
didn't
personally,
they did
I don't
nothing
think
new
this
but
will
the
become
Omni
Call of Duty.
movement crap.
Yeah, yeah. And I think like again, like I see a lot of Call of Duty stuff, but
Mhm.
I don't think it's ramped up compared to the normal Call of Duty stuff that I see. So it's just the same Call of Duty fountain of content, I guess, or whatever. Where like I feel like Helldivers 2 really like pushed, like started their own fountain of content away from having so
I
many
mean,
people
yeah,
play
they
them.
had a game master actively controlling the game to mess with the players. Like no
Yeah,
other game was doing that this
yeah,
year. The only
yeah,
thing, if I remember, that put a damper on his shine was when Sony tried to turn on the account requirement
yeah,
to have
yes,
a Sony account.
yeah.
I think if they had slowed down the content, it's nice that they were giving up rapid content for this game, but I think they burnt the community out too quickly.
Yeah. I think I I I I think Helldivers 2 is going to win this, but I think it is
Mhm.
Call of Duty's it's Call of Duty's Black Ops 6 game, or I guess nomination to win, just because of one, recency bias, and two, what you said in terms of like Helldivers 2 kind of burnt the community with the whole PSN stuff. But I will say that their last update was pretty positively received. But
Yeah.
again, it's just that everybody is waiting for the third faction to appear, and Arrowhead just hasn't put it out yet. So it's just like, what is doing? Like that would be the
This
thing to really bring people in.
this
So
is what Sony is trying to hit with every live service game. This is
yeah,
what they were looking for with Concord.
people
I
are
think
calling like Foam Stars part of the thing. I'm like, I don't think that was part of the thing. I think that was just a
that's
Square
not their
Enix thing.
goddamn game. Yeah, that's Square Enix.
Yeah,
But they didn't take heed to the community's disgust at the first reveal of Concord.
not at all.
First,
Not
we
at
thought
all.
it was going to be an adventure game, which I would have played that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I don't know. The characters are just ugly, man.
yeah. There was just a lot of missteps with Concord, and it's just like they they took it on the chin and they closed the studio, and we'll see like how they move next in terms of showing off their next game.
That's what happens when you have a game director that refuses to listen to anybody around him.
And that's also true.
And I hope they learn from that.
Yeah. All right. Next thing. Best sports and racing. Next thing. Best sim and strategy. Next thing. Best family. Sorry, guys, if that was your bag. It's not our bag. And it feels like it would be bad for us to be like, oh, let's pick this thing. And like, oh my God, why would you pick that? Like the last update for that game was trash. That game doesn't even work now. We don't know because we didn't play those games. So we're not going to even bother with that.
Yeah.
But we are going to bother with best family. Because if you don't know, both Sean and myself are fathers, thus making us part of a family. I mean, even if we weren't fathers, whatever. Okay, we got Astrobot. We got Princess P Showtime. I don't know how Princess P Showtime got here. We got Super Mario Party Jamboree. We got The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And we got the Plucky Squire.
Hold up.
Plucky Squire.
Is the Plucky Squire on?
On what?
On the Switch?
Yeah, it's
yes,
on the
it
Switch,
is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
4 out of 5 games on this list are Switch games.
Mm-hmm.
3 of them are Switch exclusives. That's alrighty.
And I don't think the Switch games are going to win this one. I think this is Astrobots to win. I think.
Yeah, I didn't see much news about any of these when they came out.
Yeah, I think Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Yeah, like that's definitely. Yeah, exactly. Like that was definitely the number 2 game here, but like Astrobot is the number 1. Like I'm kind of in the mindset of if a game of the year is nominated in a category, it's probably going to win that category before we get up to the game of the year category. But yeah, I'm also Astrobot. Yeah, I don't think there's any chance for the other games to win this one. Best fighting. We were kind of talking about with Tekken 8. We have Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, Multiverses.
Get that shit out of here.
And then Tekken 8. Multiverses though? Okay. I think this is. I was gonna say I think this is a toss up.
No, it's not. I'm giving it to Dragon Ball.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So much
I was
TLC
gonna say that
was put into this game that is bonkers, except for like a few glitches, or not glitches, just unintended gameplay mechanics. Like I think they just recently had a tournament and they disqualified and they requalified, but disqualified the people because they were using the androids to just extend the match to time it out to fly up and down because you don't use anything when you're doing it. But other than that, yeah, go ahead.
I think I'm with you on that. Like the only way that I could see Tekken 8 winning this is if they if every person who's voting are judging the games based off of the quality of the game versus the hype moment of the game, because I think Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has a ton of hype behind that game, and it did super well because of that hype, because Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Tenkaichi like finally coming back. But Tekken 8 is a better online multiplayer experience.
Yeah.
Because they made it very clear for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, they're not balancing any of these characters. So if you go online with Krillin and you fight a Broly, good luck. It's that thing of like, it works well on paper, but the actual online experience is just not great for Sparking Zero right now, just because of that fact that like things aren't balanced. So if you are picking your favorite characters and going online, you're gonna get washed by like a Whis and Ultra Instinct Goku combo.
But I've
or whatever.
seen
it's just like
people choose like Chaozu and Krillin and go Wreckface.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
yeah, but that's for the memes though, and like it's that thing of like you see the one video, but it's like how many matches did they play to get up to that one video? So it is a thing of just like
I feel it. I just know that they put a lot of all the interactions that they coded in and unexpected things that you just find in there and all the Easter eggs. Tekken 8 is a straightforward sequel. Multiverses does not belong here. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. All y'all did was bundle up the old code and splash a new little bit of paint on it, and
Yeah,
I,
it's
I,
one of
I,
those things.
yeah, I don't know about Grand Blue though. Fantasy
I don't
versus.
either. I don't either.
I can't speak on it.
Yeah, it's one of the things where it's like if Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection wins, it's just like that's literally the old heads jumped online and was like, no, we're gonna make sure this thing wins because like that's the only way I can see this beating both Tekken 8 and Sparking Zero. But we'll see. I think it's gonna be Sparking Zero too. I feel like that's gonna win. Just even just because of how well it's sold and recency bias. So it's like they set themselves up. Best RPG. You may be asking, what is RPG in this case? For the best game design with rich player character, that's RPC, customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Massively multiplayer experiences. Okay, so we have Dragon's Dogma 2. I think this is the only place that's got nominated, so shout out to them. Or no, maybe got nominated for Best Action too. Best Action RPG, whatever. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Yakuza, I'm sorry, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and then Metaphor Refantasio. Sean.
This is some bullshit. There's such strong competition, and I don't think enough. I said this when the game came out. This is gonna suffer from recency bias.
Well, I mean, Final Fantasy just came out a month after Yakuza. But that's I will say that's
Final
a different player
Fantasy
base. That
has,
is,
it's just completely
yeah,
different.
yeah.
You know what? I'm curious. Let me see some. What do you think's gonna win?
I think it's gonna be Metaphor, just because this is the category of best RPG, and I think Metaphor has a ton of steam behind it. I think you can argue that even though Infinite Wealth is it's completely turn based, so it's basically the same. It's the same style as Metaphor.
87.
Because I was gonna say that like Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth, Elden Ring, Dragon's Dogma, they are all RPGs, but they are very much so like action hack and slash RPGs, where like it's an action game with RPG elements. Even though Final Fantasy might be more 50-50. But like I think this is Metaphor's category to win. And unfortunately, Infinite Wealth was a great game this year, but this year was just stacked with crazy RPGs.
Yeah, so, I'm looking at all the open critic.
I think Infinite Wealth got a 90, right?
Infinite Wealth got a 90 for the top critic average. Give me 1 second. Metaphor. Refantasio. Metaphor Refantasio got a 93.
A 93. Okay.
A Rebirth got a 93. Shadow of the Erdtree got a 94. Dragon's Dogma is at a mighty rating, but it's still at an 87.
Yeah.
I guess it's an honor that it's in company with such great games and Dragon's
Dogma. Yeah. I mean, I feel the same with Dragon's Dogma because like as much as I love that game, there's no way that is coming anywhere close to these other games. So it's just like, well, they got nominated, so that's cool.
Yeah, even though it's the only thing that they got nominated in, as well as Infinite Wealth.
Yeah,
but RGG doesn't make the games for the awards; they make it for the players. So it's all good.
And again, like this was one of their biggest games anyway, so it's just like them getting nominated is icing on the cake. Yeah. On the flip side, Dragon's Dogma 2 is the last Dragon's Dogma game coming out of Capcom because Itsuno left Capcom, and now he's like, I think he's at Tencent with the PUBG developer. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah,
that's a different article. Okay, yeah. So yeah, my vote is Metaphor. Like, what's your vote?
Do you know what it is? Damn
it! Let's go. All right. Next up, best action adventure. Okay, so I'm gonna read this one because these categories always get kind of confusing. For the best action/adventure game, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, we got Astrobot, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, Silent Hill 2, Star Wars Outlaws, The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Okay, the best action adventure.
This is a hard category.
Yeah.
These are all very different crowds.
Yeah, but I'm sticking to my gun of if a game of the year nominee is in a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and none of the other nominees are also game of the year contenders, I'm gonna go to the game of the year nominee. So I'm going Astrobot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Best action event. I mean, I voted Astrobot,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't play any of the games, so.
Yeah, like I played the demo of Prince of Persia: Lost Crown. I just saw the stuff of Star Wars Outlaws. I have
I did play
Echoes
the
of
demo of
Wisdom.
Lost Crown.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It's good. I think it's a good 2D like Metroidvania platformer,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it is of the same caliber of Astrobot. And I don't think any of these games are the same caliber as Astrobot. So it's just like
Maybe Silent Hill 2. But
I
you're
don't
not
even
into
think.
horror games.
Yeah, I'm not into horror games, but like I think that's the thing of like I am not in that niche. I'm not in that niche, so I don't really know the people who are like really like propping up Silent Hill 2. But
You
yeah, I mean,
also
it
have
got
the
nominated.
issue of back then when they were cheaper and quicker to make. Silent Hill would have been in best horror category, but we don't have enough of those being released in 1 year anymore. So
That's
it has to be lumped in somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. So are you still sticking with your Astrobot?
Yeah.
That or okay. Yeah, same here. Best action game. The best game in action genre focused primarily on combat. Black Myth: Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2. What's your vote here?
Wukong. I do need to go back and play Stellar Blade. I only played the demo. I did enjoy it. And I really think Wukong and Stellar Blade are of similar gameplay style. So
yeah,
I just think Wukong was of a higher. It had a higher profile. It was just so anticipated for the past. Well, they announced it in 2020.
Oh, Wukong. No, they announced it. I think they announced it before then. I will go ahead and I will go on record and say that if Stellar Blade ain't have them boobies, that game would not have been as talked about as it is. That combat is fine. Was it 2020?
August 20th, 2020.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That combat it's cool or whatever, but Wukong's combat is hands down better. And I look at this category and I'm like, I think Helldivers 2 is good, but it is not the action of Helldivers 2 is created in a way where it's slightly frustrating. And that's sort of the point. But like that doesn't necessarily make it the best action game. And I think Call of Duty is Call of Duty. It's a first person shooter. I kind of look at that differently in terms of being like action.
An action, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, okay, yeah, this is Wukong to win.
I hear Space Marine 2 is pretty fun.
Yes. Yeah, Space Marine 2 is fun, but like people were talking it up like it was going to be the next Helldivers 2, and it just wasn't. So yeah. Best VR AR. Do you want to talk about this? Because
no,
I got nothing here. Okay. Next.
Best
mobile game. We have AFK Journey. I have seen so many ads for this game that it is annoying me. I don't want this to win just because I've seen so many ads for this game. Balatro, Pokemon
I've never
trading
seen an
card.
ad for it, by the way.
Are you serious?
This is the first time hearing it.
Oh, I see it all the time to the point where it is like nauseating. Like, oh, I just got this cool character, and it's like I was like, I just want to skip this fucking ad. Anyways,
Okay.
Pokemon trading card game pocket, Withering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero. This is Bellotto to win. Easy, easy,
Most definitely.
easy.
It's not
Like
bringing in as much money as Wuthering Waves and ZZZ, but Balatro has made waves this
yeah,
year like
yeah,
crazy.
oh yeah, oh yeah, like I. As much as I respect Pokemon trading card game, it is not.
I don't
It
think
needs
it's a
work.
real Pokemon TCG. It's a neutered version of it, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it needs work. It needs a lot of work. Like I was actually just talking to Shireen about it yesterday because she asked me like, "Oh, when's the last
Mm.
time you opened?" No, she actually asked me today. She's like, "When the last time you opened a Pokemon trading card?" I was just like, oh shoot, like Friday actually. Let me go check my packs." It's just
Isn't
like,
that nice? Your wife reminding you to do your dailies and stuff.
but yeah, it is a thing of like, there's definitely a content drought with that game right now, and I think a lot of the systems in that game just needs work. I think the battling for sure needs work. Again, that's a
Mm.
different thing. We could talk about that later. Yeah, but we're both Bellotro on this. Best debut indie game. For the best debut game created by a new independent studio, we have Animal Well, Bellotro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, and The Plucky Squire. This is gonna be Bellotro to win. I think it'd be
I want this
nice.
man to win everything. I want him to sweep this goddamn award show. This man made this game just for him and his friends.
Yep.
He released it thinking 20, 30 people was gonna play it, and he was gonna go back to his 9 to 5 day job.
Mm-hmm.
And boom, that joint just exploded like it's
Literally
amazing.
exploded. Yeah.
This is this is a success story that I want to see. No
Yeah.
offense to is it Animal Donkey or something like that that made Animal Well? No, what's his name?
I think you're close. I think you're close.
Something Donkey.
Yeah, I think you're close on that. Um, yeah. So like, I played Animal Well. I thought Animal Well was a very unique and like cool indie game, but like it's next to Bellotro, and Bellotro did
Yeah.
so well this year that it's undeniable how good Bellotro is and how well it did, and just how much press it got. And it's just like I just don't see Animal Well beating Bellotro in this category when this is literally like Bellotro's category to win.
Video Game Donkey. I'm sorry, that's the name of his name.
Okay.
And
Yeah. And then we got Plucky Squire, which
he
it's a shame.
published it. Animal Well is made by one developer, Billy Basso. He even designed
really?
a custom engine. Okay, so one man made it, but Donkey commissioned it basically.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, interesting.
but nah, man, Bellotro is
Yeah.
just it. You just
Yeah,
gotta.
this is Bellotro's one for sure. Okay. Best independent. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Best independent game for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game outside of the traditional publisher system. Okay. I actually think okay, so we got Amuel, Bellotro, Laurel Isles and Laser Eyes, Neva, UFO 50. Oh, UFO 50's on this. Dang. I was gonna say that I
Have
think
you
this
played that?
actually no, I've heard a ton about UFO 50 because it's I think it's just on Steam, but it's like the way that is it's 50 different games,
Hmm.
but the idea is that it's 50 games made from uh this one game studio in this world. So like you start with one game and then you go
Hmm.
to another game, you go to another game, and then like there's like a sequel to that first game and it like keeps
Mm.
building and building and building. It's like telling a story of this dev or whatever. It's supposed to be really, really interesting, like really good.
I
But
guess
like
I'll be trying it.
yeah, I think the only reason I haven't tried it because it's on Steam is just like I have to come down here and play it. So I'm not gonna do that. But I was gonna say that like I feel like this could be Anima Wells' win because I think on a technical level, Anima Well is a more technically complicated game or versus like Balatro, where it is like a card-based game where like it's really finding that loop that's like the real difficulty based off of because it's a card game.
So,
Whereas
so you
like
know you can remote play your Steam games, right?
onto what? My
Uh,
PlayStation? A portal?
your tablet, your phone,
Oh, really?
yeah,
I did not know
and
that.
to your TV with Steam Link. Let me see: iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, Android phone, tablet, TV, Windows, Linux, Mac OS, MetaQuest. Yeah.
Wow. I did not know you could
So
do that.
you may hear us playing and recommending Steam games going forward because I'm getting a
Yeah.
gaming laptop and he has that
Yeah.
big shiny flashy thing behind him. So
You're not wrong. Okay, yeah. But yeah, I feel like I can see Balatro. I think it could be either Enema Balatro
I
or
haven't
UFO 50.
seen news articles about any other game this year other than Balatro taking over people's lives.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. Like I think Balatro has done such like big in the press, but like because this is industry people voting, I think it's like
Yeah,
10% fan vote, where it's like they know Animal well. They know of UFO 50. I've heard more about
of
Animal than I did
course.
about yeah, I've heard more about Animal than UFO 50. So it's like I feel like they could give this to Animal well, and
Mhm.
then Balatro would get the best indie debut because like it had like the best debut, like literally.
Balatro's walking away with more than one thing. I just know that for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think like that's sort of the whole idea that like what I was saying, like, okay, well, if one of these games is in the game of the year nominee, it's probably gonna win that category. And it's just like there's no other game that's in the game of the year nominee other than Balatro here. So it's like it's probably gonna win. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, we got a person. I remote play on PS4 from my iPad. Oh, snaps. I don't know how old this is, but I'll respond. All right.
You made it old, you jerk.
Oh. All right. Best community support. We have Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky. Man, that No Man's Sky just continues to be nominated.
When did No Man's Sky come out?
I think 2016 maybe. 2014, 2016, one of the
I was
even
about to say
ones.
this game has been in almost every game award show.
20 I think it's 2014 because it's
August
2016.
9th,
Okay.
2016. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That's crazy staying power.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's I think Baldur's Gate 3 is gonna win this for
Yeah, yeah.
the sheer fact that they dropped mod support onto that game. And there was an article that was like after they dropped the mod support, there was like the player base increased by I think it's like over 100%, like some crazy number.
Mhm.
And it was just like, oh, there's people playing this game even more now. And it's just like, oh, this is insane.
No
So
Man's Sky has been in the lineup every year since 2018.
mhm,
They need the
mhm.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
They do. They really do. They really, really do at this point. Like, oh my goodness.
Most improved. Like,
You're
God,
right. So what's your
I would give it to No Man's Sky. Every new
yeah.
piece of upgrade and technology that has come out, they have supported. They have offered everything they promised and more. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to figure out what drugs they're selling on the side to like who's buying this game for them to still have the money to be adding stuff like this.
It's one of those things where it's just like the internet is so big where we don't get the glimpse of like how big that community is because that community has to
DJ,
be
DJ,
huge.
DJ. Do they have microtransactions?
No, I don't think so. Well, actually, no. I think there are microtransactions. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can look that up. Because the last time I played, there's like different currencies in the game, but I don't think there was a way for me to buy the currencies with like real money.
There are no microtransactions.
Yeah.
Nah, man. This Hello Games is moving weight some kind of way because we've never. No, really, we've never seen this on a top 10 list. DJ.
Oh, that's a good point. That's
They're
a good
moving
point.
weight.
Wait.
Sean Murray is up to some shit, and I'm sorry if I called you out, Sean, but
He's like, oh crap, I got close business.
have any of the expansions been paid expansions?
I guess so. No, all of them they've been free. They've been free.
And they're funding another game with
Lightning
money.
Fire or whatever, right? Yeah, I don't. You make a good point about it not being like in the top or whatever. Like, somebody gonna get to the bottom of that. But hey, we hope you guys win the award.
Point Jason Schreier in their direction.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and of course the question might be, oh, why not Helldivers too? Like, that's been the game like popping off throughout the year. And I will say that I think they did a good job with their community support at the beginning, but then once they had fumbled the bag, it's been kind of like a little sometimes good, sometimes bad. So I don't think they'd win it. But yeah, I would want No Man's Sky to win this.
I would say it's between Baldur's Gate 3 and No Man's Sky. I wouldn't say Fortnite just because that's a paid game. They're doing it for money. Helldivers 2, I don't know if their expansions are paid. At this point, Hello Games is just doing it for the love of the game. Like, I don't get it.
Really though. So yeah, we'll see there. Best ongoing. We have Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and then Helldivers 2. Who do you think is gonna win that? What was your vote?
I just said 14 just because I don't know. I don't play any of these games. I haven't
Best ongoing.
Fortnite.
I think this might be a I don't know. Like I honestly I don't. I think same for you. Like I don't have the
We don't have a dog in the fight.
Like,
we don't have to pick one of these.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. Nah, maybe Helldivers too. I don't know. Okay, games for impact.
We can go all the way to like best art direction or something. We don't gotta.
Yeah, I don't, because like I do. I'm aware of these games, right? So I think games for impact. I think this is gonna go to Neva. Closer to the distance. I actually don't know what that. Indica is a very, very weird game that I don't think it just looks very weird. It's like a nun with like a horror like theme or whatever. I think this is going to be Neva to win. And then Life is Strange Double Exposure. I don't think that did well. Hellblade 2. Unfortunately, no one really talked about that game after it came out. Then Tales of Kenzara. They're not doing great. I don't think they're going to win. I think the game was really cool. I think the themes of it was really cool. I did not like the ending with the boss fight or whatever.
Yeah.
But overall, I thought that was a good game. And I love the African inspiration in that game. Innovation and accessibility. I don't. Yeah, we're gonna skip that one. Best performance. We talked about this off mic, and this is kind of a weird category where I was saying that a lot of people are talking about Heisme from Metaphor Fantasio not being a part of this, and it's like he was kind of like one of the coolest characters in that game. I didn't beat the game, so I don't know if I'm still missing characters. But right now, like
all these people look alike. That's all I'm gonna say.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So this is just kind of like we'll see. He'll see who wins. I don't have a dog in this fight in this horse. A dog in this race? A horse in this race? Whatever. I also don't have a dog, so fuck I know. Best audio design. We got Astrobot, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Hellblade 2, and Silent Hill 2. I
just gave it to Senua's Saga because I remember the audio in the original being amazing.
Yeah.
I would just assume they kept that up. It would. I really think it would be between as far as sound design and all that, Silent Hill 2 and Hellblade. Those are Silent Hill
Yeah.
2 is a horror game. I'm not quite sure what the full direction of Hellblade 2 was, but I know it was supposed to be kind of I'm not gonna say creepy, but unnerving, I guess, with the audio and make
Yeah,
you
because
feel like
it's
you're hallucinating and stuff.
yeah, because you're dealing with psychosis, so it's like
Yeah.
you're hearing voices and stuff, and like I think they did build off of the the steam or the momentum they had from the first one in terms of like the voices were telling you stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't know how effective it was for part two versus part one, but I do remember hearing that Silent Hill 2 had like a really interesting like art design because it was like so moody, so quiet, and like there's just monsters and stuff. And it's the thing of like generally Call of Duty wins this category because they are like, oh, this is what the guns sound like or whatever. But I
Nah,
think you're right
because the
in terms of
audio doesn't always work properly. It has never worked
oh,
properly in Call of Duty.
that
So, nah.
that's another thing. Thank you for reminding me because when Warzone released, they had a big audio bug where like the footsteps, like none of the audio revisions that was made in the Warzone for Modern Warfare 3 was captured in the Black Ops Warzone. So like the footsteps of the people were super loud. No one could really hear people coming up behind them and stuff. So the audio stuff was actually bad.
They
Yeah, I'm
need
gonna
to
go
stop
Hellblade
trying
too.
to up the darn resolution of the game and the textures and work on the actual audio. They're pumping
Mhm.
it out year after year and not fixing the things they should fix. But
Yep.
people don't care about it because they just want the latest and greatest. I don't blame them. It's whatever. But
Yeah. Yep. So yeah. Oh yeah, Astrobot's in this category. Well, also fun. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Hellblade. I think this is where they're gonna give Hellblade their flowers. Best score in music: Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Silent Hill 2, Stellar Blade. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think Metaphor is gonna win this, just for the fact that the battle music in Metaphor is the craziest music that I have actually paid attention to, where it's like, it's not just like, oh, this is like synth music or like, oh, this is classical music. There is a man chanting in the background, like full on chanting, saying God knows what. But it is so hyped. And it's one of the things where it's like, normally if I hear someone say, "Oh, the music in here is really cool," I'm just like, "Okay, yeah,
yeah.
whatever." I know it's not GNX cool. Okay, it's gonna be whatever. But like, I was like, "Oh, like I actually like this. This is actually really cool." So that's where my vote would go. I don't know about. I mean, Astrobot I think is good, but I don't think it achieves the same level as like a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Metaphor. I don't know about Silent Hill 2, and I definitely don't know about Stellar Blade
Yeah.
because does their boobs make music? I don't know. Yeah. What did you pick?
Rebirth.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's gonna be between those two. Okay. Best art direction. We have Astrobot. We have Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Earth Tree, Metaphor Retantazio, and Never. Um, what was your pick here?
Black Myth Wukong, just because it's something new.
Different, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something different. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth Tree. While I'm sure it was amazing, it's more of the same Elden Ring and FromSoft aesthetic. They have a theme going, and that's fine. I haven't looked at Metaphor. You have.
Yeah.
Haven't looked at Neva. Astrobot, while cool, they're saying best art direction, outstanding creative or technical achievement and artistic design, animation. Mm, like I said, Black Myth Wukong is finally something different that we haven't seen. Astrobot was aping Mario Odyssey and all that.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right with Black Myth. Like if you just for the sole fact that each of the other games is a sequel in some way. whereas Metaphor is a spiritual sequel to Persona. Neva is a spiritual sequel to Grease, and then Elden Ring, Shadow Erdtree is just DLC, and Astrobot is what rescue mission and the playroom or whatever that was in the PS5, PS5, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like all this stuff isn't really presenting anything new, where Black Myth is presenting a new mythology that, Western culture doesn't really see too often, where it's like the Chinese mythos and stuff. So it's like we are seeing a lot of new stuff, and that game is just completely like a beautiful game. Like, people might have issues with combat or whatever, but the game looks good, and those characters are super interesting to look at. Like, yeah, so I'm definitely with you with Black Myth on here. Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. We have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite. Oh, Like a Dragon made it again. Okay. Metaphor Refantasio. I almost said Stellar Blade. Senua Saga Hellblade 2, and then Silent Hill 2. What was your vote here?
You know what it is. You know what time it is. Infinite Well.
All right, so yeah, my vote's gonna be Metaphor. I Metaphor, like a lot of people was saying how like, oh, it's weird that Metaphor deals with the story that it does, seeing how we are dealing with I mean, at this point, Trump about to be in the office, and there's a lot of um racism, uh uh what's what religious isms. I don't know
Yeah.
that word, whatever that word is, with the church overstepping their boundaries or whatever. There's a
Mm.
lot of that stuff in Metaphor, and we're seeing a lot of that stuff in our current like political climate. And I think there is a ton of parallels that definitely probably wasn't accidental, and it seems very much so like purposeful. um and I think that's going to resonate a lot with people, where like I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is the middle game, so you can only do so much with that. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, I didn't play it. I know it's good, but it's just, I think it probably is not going to resonate the same way that Metaphor is resonating with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then Senua Saga, it is what it is. And Hellblade 2, or Hellblade 2, Silent Hill 2 is Silent Hill. So yeah, my guess would be Metaphor. Best game direction, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in a game direction and design. We have Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor Refantasio. Oh,
This is stacked.
yeah. This, because like I honestly I feel like you can you can make a point for Astrobot, Balatro, Elden Ring, and Metaphor. And the
Mhm.
only reason why I leave off Black Myth is because it is very straightforward, and it's telling a story that has been retold a ton of times.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, as good as it can be, it is
The middle
still a
game, like you
remake.
said.
Yeah, it's a middle, and yeah, and it's also a remake from a past game that everyone know and most people know. So it's just like the direction, you can only do so much with that, like carving something new. I mean, I think Elden Ring, the only reason why I consider it, because it is doing new stuff where people didn't think that they were going to add, expansion to it, and it just has its own like side story or whatever that
Yeah.
people genuinely like in terms of how much has been positively reviewed or whatever. And Metaphor, although it is pulling off the bones of like a Persona
Persona.
game,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's still, in terms of its storytelling, it is doing something that is very different and poignant. Yeah. And then Astrobot is just Astrobot. Astrobot is a great game.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't, because isn't it like whoever wins this tends to win the or the game of the year, right?
I'd have to look through the historical data,
Yeah,
but we'll see.
because yeah. What was your pick here? You went Final
Astrobot.
Fantasy? Oh, okay, you went Astrobot. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like game direction.
All of these are also nominated for Game of the Year, so I doubt they would win
Okay.
both.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I think okay, what's the game direction again? Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. I can see it being Astrobot because there's just so many cool things you can do in Astrobot, and it feels like a 3D Mario game. And it like
Yeah.
even though it's like, oh, this feels like this game, like to reach the status of a Mario game is such a high bar, and like Astrobot like nails it. Uh, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Astrobot on here because I think looking at game direction, I think Astrobot does better in like game design, whereas Metaphor is just telling a really interesting story. Whereas the actual game design is very much so like standard RPG affairs. Again, I haven't beat. I'm lagging a little bit. I haven't beat Metaphor, so I don't know if like it gets even crazier. But um, yeah, I'm where I'm at for the people who are wondering. I am
Yeah.
at the point where Heismay found. All right, we're going back to Heismay Village. That's where I'm at. Yeah, I'm gonna go Astrobot, and then the last thing is Game of the Year. As you said, it's the same category, same nominees. So we got Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Child of the Earth Tree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor Fantasio. What was your vote here?
I am biased. I voted Balatro.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think by virtue of this game was a top rated game, it would be
Mhm.
Astrobot. Um I think I don't think Elden Ring is gonna win this. I'll say that right now. I don't think Elden Ring's gonna win this. I think
I hope
between
they don't.
Astrobot, yeah, between Astrobot, Balatro, and Metaphor, even Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I don't think Elden Ring is gonna win this. Like, um, I really like Metaphor, but I think this is Astrobot's win just because of how surprising it was. Because at some point in this year, we did not know that Astrobot even existed in this caliber, and then it was like
Yeah.
shown off, and we're just like, oh my god, this actually looks like really, really good, and the game was really, really good,
It
and
was
it's
an
just like,
immediate buy
okay,
from announcement.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think I'd go Astrobot, but I think this is a year where if any of these win, I wouldn't be too mad, other than Shadow of the Earth Tree, because I still feel weird that it's DLC. Like
Yeah.
the
They had to
base
stick
game
it
did not come out
somewhere.
this year. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, that's it for us. We
Um,
got through all.
yeah, I just want to point out that they're also showing the Game Awards in Fortnite on Game Awards Island. You can vote on their pool.
Oh,
It
that's
has
pretty
other
cool.
little it has other little stuff on
I think they
there.
did that
Um,
last year, right?
yeah.
I thought they did that last year. Yeah.
And then they partnered up with Amazon. They have like a Amazon.com/ the Game Awards link where
Yeah.
everything nominated is on sale in some form or fashion, and then they have hardware and
Hmm.
accessories on sale as well until the end of the month.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Mhm.
So we did it. We covered news, and then we did our little predictions for the Game Awards 2024. All right. That has been it for another episode of Press X Start Gamers Digest. We hope you enjoyed this big old podcast as much as we enjoy making it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the notification bell. Don't forget, if you are listening and not watching, to please leave us a review on whatever podcast service you're using. You thought I was going to do the same rigmarole. I did not. And if you want, you can join our Discord at pressx2start.com/Discord. Until next week, where maybe we'll be talking about, or we'll be doing a reactions to surprise state of play from PlayStation, because they had something planned for Tuesday. Or maybe next week we'll be talking about how they just released a like poster that you can get that's like 1080p, not even 4K quality. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Now. Be safe. Play games.
All right. Drea hit me up like an hour and a half ago. Like, help.
Help.
I'm like, although I shouldn't. Can I get an hour and some change to myself once a week? I mean, that's I need to wipe my computer. All right. Later, dude.
Peace.
Upload your audio.